So as you come to your seated position, find a nice straight, aligned spine, shoulders relaxed, head is balanced on top of your spine. And just take a big inhale through your nose, sigh out your mouth. Let's just take a moment to settle into our skin. Notice what you're feeling everywhere, but also check in around your hip region. Remember to feel the parts that feel great, along with the parts that might feel stiff. Let's start breathing a little deeper and slower Ujjayi breaths. And then just notice thought processes, emotions, energy, everything else about you right now in this moment. And let's set our intention for our practice today. So palms together in front of the heart. When you're clear about what you need or what you intend, take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Good. Let's just roll the shoulders back a couple of times. Just kind of loosening up and moving a little bit, and then just like that, we're going to come to standing. So taking a moment to find that nice aligned mountain pose at the front of your mat, Tadasana. Just take the opportunity one more time to kind of feel into everything. Feel how rooted you are. Feel how straight and aligned you are, and feel how alive you are. And then inhale and reach your arms up. And as you exhale, bend your knees and fold forward into your ragdoll. Take a couple of breaths here. Neck is relaxed. You can always shake your head if you need to. Every exhale helping you lengthen your spine. Go ahead and put fingertips down on the mat on either side of your feet. It's up to you if you want to try and straighten the legs, but we're going to look up and lengthen. And hold this for an extra breath. Just really pull your chest forward. And on your next exhale, fold all the way down. And then let's step back with our left foot. Coming into a right foot forward lunge. Go ahead and take your right hand up towards the ceiling. Just take a couple of breaths. Just kind of opening everything up. Left knee down. Let's raise the arms up and overhead. Tuck the tailbone, sink your hips forward. Bring your hands down on either side of the right foot, gaze forward, and begin to extend your right leg. So let's just say hello to that right hamstring this morning. As much as possible, you want the knee straight, ankle and toes dorsiflexed. Bend your right knee. Put your right hand on the inside of the right knee, kind of sink your hips forward, and let's roll on the outside edge of that right foot as we press the right leg open. And then from here, we'll go ahead and step it back to plank. Just hold your plank for a moment. Let your core wake up and catch up with the rest of you. So the first time we'll modify, go ahead and drop down knees, chest, and chin. And untuck the toes, and let's lengthen out in a Sphinx. Just stretch it out, and then downward facing dog. Any little movements that you need to do on this first down dog, feel free to take them. And then just find some stillness here. And then step your left foot forward up between the hands. So you're in a left foot forward lunge. Take your left hand up towards the ceiling. And we'll go ahead and bring left hand down, drop your right knee down. Arms are up and overhead. Tuck your tailbone under, sink those hips forward. Bring both hands down, either side of that left foot. Extend your left leg, flex the ankle and toes. And then we're gonna just bend that left knee, sink the hips forward, left hand on the inside of the left knee. You're rolling onto the outside edge of that left foot, pressing the knee open. Good. Let your knee come back up from here. We're gonna step forward to a standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, back down. This time, let's step back with the right leg. Take your left foot forward lunge. Keep your right hand planted, excuse me, and we're gonna rotate both feet a full 90 degrees to the left. That right leg stays straight, your right ankle stays flexed, but your right hip is sinking. So you can either take left hand towards the ceiling or reach it in front of your left shin. What you should be feeling is left outer hip. Rotate all the way back around. Hands are on either side of the left foot. Gaze forward and begin to straighten your left leg. Remember, it's okay if it doesn't go all the way straight. We're just looking for sensation. And then bend your left knee. Let's bring the arms up and overhead. Tuck that tailbone under and sink the hips. Both hands are going to come down inside your left foot. See if you can come onto your right forearm, perhaps both. And then come back up onto your hands and step back to plank. Take the vinyasa of your choice. Remember, you can modify if you need to. You can amp it up by adding chaturanga push-ups if you need to. It's your practice. Find length and stillness in your downward facing dog. And then step forward with your right foot. So you're gonna right foot forward lunge. We're gonna keep the left hand planted and rotate both feet a full 90 degrees to the right. So again, left ankle is flexed, left leg is straight. Your left hip is sinking though. You should feel this in your right outer hip. Right hand reaches for the ceiling, or you can reach in front of your right shin. Rotate both feet all the way back around, both hands down, gaze forward. Begin to straighten your right leg. Just looking for a hamstring stretch. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It just needs to feel right. And then we're gonna bend the right knee, bring the arms up and overhead, tuck the tailbone, sink the hips down. And then bring both hands down inside your right foot. See if you can come onto the left forearm, perhaps both. Come back up onto your hands, step forward to a standing forward bend. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, reach your arms up, stretch up. And as you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, back down. Step back with your left foot, spin your heel flat. Come on up into warrior two. So we're gonna actually start with a triangle here. You're gonna straighten your right leg, kick your hips to the left, lengthen out, find your triangle pose for a moment. Be really mindful today. Please don't worry about how far down you go. I want you to have lots of length on both sides of the spine and make sure you keep both legs straight and that you're aligned over your right thigh. So if you're way down on the floor, but you're leaning forward, change it. Now you're gonna bring your left hand down. You may need to adjust your stance because we're gonna take this into a revolved triangle. So I shortened my stance a tiny bit. Slide your left hand over to your right foot or shin. Try and keep your right leg straight, lengthen your spine, and rotate right hand up towards the ceiling. Bring your right hand down, swivel onto the left toes, drop your left knee and walk your right foot over for pigeon. Let your shin come down, slide your left leg back. Just take a few breaths on your forearms. Just starting to wake things up a little. And then step straight back to downward facing dog. Stretch. Shift into plank, take a vinyasa. From this downward facing dog, we're gonna take the left foot forward. Spin your right heel flat, come up into your warrior two. Just like we did on the other side, we start with triangles. So straighten your left leg, kick your hips to the right, lengthen out, be mindful of your alignment. You don't win a prize for having your left hand on the floor or your foot. You win strength and flexibility if you pay attention to your alignment and the length on both sides of the spine. From here, we're going to bring the right hand down. You might want to adjust your feet, do what you need to do, and then slide your right hand over to your left foot or shin, or it can be on the floor outside the foot. Let's try and keep that left leg straight and the spine long as we transition into our revolved triangle. Bring the left hand down, swivel onto your right toes. Drop your right knee, walk your left foot over for a little pigeon action on the left side. Just a few breaths on the forearms, getting things warmed up. And then we're going straight back into downward facing dog, stretch. And then shift into plank and take your vinyasa. So from this downward facing dog, I'd like you to take your right leg straight up. Now we're going to be swinging the right leg underneath us, but I want you to keep it straight. Flex your ankle. So it's kind of like a kickstand. Slide the right foot up as much as you comfortably can. And then begin to lower yourself down like you would if you were going into chaturanga. But see if you can get all the way to your stomach. Now, everybody's different, but if you're able to, the arms extend out to the side like a T. Maybe your left hand grabs your right leg or foot. Maybe your head turns to the right. It's kind of like doing a revolved triangle on your stomach. Go ahead and bring your hands back underneath you. See if you can go straight back into that three-legged dog. And then bend your right knee and roll your hip bone open. Put your right foot back down. Extend your left leg straight back. Swing your left leg underneath you, but keep it straight. Flex the ankle, slide the foot up if you can. Shift forward and see if you can lower down onto your stomach. Remember, honor your body. If you're able, extend the arms out to the side like a T. Maybe let your head go to the left. Maybe grab your left foot with your right hand. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Let's go straight back into that three-legged dog. Shoot that left leg back. Bend the knee, roll the hip bone open. Left foot to the ground. Downward facing dog. Shift into plank. Take a vinyasa. And then from this downward facing dog, you can either walk or jump forward. Standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. So let's have some fun balancing. I want you to use your strap today. Even if you can grab your foot with your legs straight, we're using the strap today. And the reason for that is that I want your spine 100% perfectly vertical. If you have a balance challenge this morning, I'm okay with you doing this with your back against the wall. So we're trying to get the correct opening here without compromising vertical spine. We're gonna stand on the left foot first. I'd like for you to loop your right foot. We're just gonna get into this together. Once you loop your foot, don't lift it yet. Get as straight and tall as you possibly can. I want you to think Tadasana. So the reason I say this is I used to watch this in class. I'm going to turn sideways for a minute. People would do this and get really straight, and then they lean down and grab their strap and get like this. You're not allowed to do that. Today, you have to keep your spine totally vertical. Now, maintaining that perfectly vertical spine, start to hoist your leg up. Straight leg, flexed foot. Till you feel a stretch, breathe, keep your spine totally vertical. Hang on to your strap with your right hand, let your left hand go out to the left. Stay vertical, take your right leg to the right. Stay vertical, bring your leg back to the center and switch hands. Make sure you maintain upright, perfect posture. Right arm reaches out to the right. Lift your chest a little more. Now, instead of taking the leg across the body, we're going to rotate our torso to the right, which makes it look like our leg is across our body. Take a couple of breaths. And then come back to the center and release. So your posture should not have changed at all, just the leg was moving. Let's do the same thing on the other side. This is why you're using your strap. So you're gonna stand on your right foot. Grab your left foot with your strap. Grab the strap with both hands to begin with. Keep your foot on the ground for a moment. Get as straight and tall as you can. Take your time with this, right? Once you get really vertical and straight, then you just kind of start to hoist your leg up. Flex the foot, straight leg. Find your stretch. Keep a vertical spine. Right arm out to the right. Left leg goes to the left. Straight spine, no leaning. Slowly bringing that leg back to the center. You're going to switch hands. Keep your spine very vertical. Left arm out. Now, instead of taking the leg across the body, we rotate the torso to the left. So it's like our left arm is reaching behind us. We stay really vertical. And then bring the leg back to the center and release. You can drop your strap. We're going to be doing the same thing on our back later. It'll feel really good. But for now, good job. Drop your strap. Feet together, palms together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, back down. You can either step or jump back to plank. Take a vinyasa. Lengthen out in your down dog. Stretch it out. And then you can either walk or jump forward, standing forward bend. Inhale, arms up. And as you exhale, turn sideways, take that nice wide side step. Nice and wide. So the first thing we're going to do is just play with Skandasana, which is that kind of side lunge squat. And we're going to go to the right first. So your right foot needs to rotate out a little or a lot. It depends on your body, but you'll be able to figure it out and you can kind of adjust as you go down. Please remember your right heel stays connected to the mat. Don't lift your heel. So your right toes rotate out a little or a lot. You start to bend into your right knee. Left toes are going to rotate up towards the ceiling. Now, if you want to lean down and put your hands on the ground, you can do that. If you're flexible enough, you can bring your palms together in prayer. Your left leg is straight. Your toes are pointing up. Your right heel is flat. One more breath here. Now, as we transition out of this, we're gonna go straight into the left side. So you can use your hands on the ground. Left foot plants, but at an angle. You can just rotate your right toes up towards the ceiling. Find Skandasana on this side. So just a reminder, your left heel is flat. So it's like a yogic squat, right? Right leg is straight, toes are pointing up. Take one more breath. Hands to the mat. Rotate your toes forward and see if you can walk your feet wider. And then take a few breaths, either just hanging down or with your forearms on the floor. While you're here, see if you can get your feet even wider. Because, yep, just like that, we're gonna move into frog. So, drop your right knee, bring the foot directly behind it, drop the left. Same thing, forearms are down, buns are moving back. Keep your feet flexed, you should look like a little froggy. If you looked behind you, your lower legs would be perfectly parallel. What you should be feeling is some crazy good stretch in your inner thigh and groin. Take a couple more breaths. And then come back up onto your hands. You can just bring your legs together, reorient yourself on the mat, take a child's pose for a moment. And then transition into plank and take a vinyasa. Take a moment and enjoy some nice spinal lengthening in your downward facing dog. And then take your right leg up in the air for me, just straight back. This time we're gonna move into a second pigeon. Go ahead and bring your right leg underneath you with the knee bent. Slide your left leg back. Come onto your forearms. We're here a little longer this time. And so if you can, flatten out. You certainly don't have to, but maintain a really nice level of opening in your right glute, right piriformis. Two more breaths on this side. Hands to the mat. Shoot that right leg straight back again. Bend your knee, roll your hip bone open, stretch. And then plant your right foot. Downward facing dog, three-legged dog, left leg behind you. And then we're gonna swing this left leg underneath with the knee bent to come into our second pigeon on the left side. Preferably a little deeper. Find your perfect spot in your one-legged pigeon this morning. And then breathe into it. Two more breaths on this side. And then hands to the mat. Shoot that left leg straight back. bend the knee, roll your hip bone open and stretch. Plant your left foot back down, downward facing dog, and then shift into plank and flow through one last vinyasa. As you get into this final downward facing dog, take the opportunity to get as much length in your spine, your glutes, your hamstrings, and your calves as possible. And you can either walk or jump forward and have a seat. Tailbone to the ground, legs extend. Find your sit bones, and let's come into Dandasana, so staff pose. If it's easy for you to sit with a nice straight spine, your hands can stay on your thighs. Your legs and your feet still need to be active though. And if your hips are tighter, you can put your hands right behind you, pushing into the floor for that extra straight spine. Make sure that your head is aligned. Let's take a couple of breaths, just really checking in. And then we're gonna keep the right leg straight. Bring your left foot to the inside of your right thigh and lengthen out over that right leg. Wherever your hands are, keep them there, or feel free to use your strap today if you would like, but we're gonna come into Heron, Kramchasana, raise that right leg up. Try and have it really, really straight. Lift your chest, and then if you can, flex the ankle and toes. Remember, if you'd like to use your strap, you're welcome to do that. Go ahead and put that right leg all the way back down. Come on up from that. Extend your left leg. Bring your right foot to the inside of your left thigh and lean out over your left leg. And so we'll do Heron on this side. Remember, you're welcome to use your strap if you like, or you can just raise your left leg up, grabbing hold of whatever you've got. Try to have the left leg straight and then lift your chest so that you've got a straight spine as well. Take a couple of breaths. Go ahead and put that left leg all the way back down. Extend your right leg. Feel free to give the legs a little wiggle. And then we're going to go ahead and extend the legs into a nice wide V. Particularly for those of you who have tighter hips, please make sure you're on your sit bones. You can either elevate the hips or you can use your hands right behind your backside to keep you on your sit bones. And if you're tighter in the hips, just doing that should give you that inner thigh sensation. So we want the legs really active, very engaged, toes pointing up, feet are flexed. Either the hands stay behind you for that straight spine, or the hands can reach in front. You're welcome to grab your shins or your feet. But the idea is not to round your back, but rather to lengthen your back. So you're actually trying to extend your spine forward. That might be like half an inch. It might be belly to the floor. It makes no difference. What matters is that you're feeling this inner thigh stretch, that your legs are really active, that you're staying present, and you're maintaining an even and fluid breath. We're here for a few more breaths, as much as you can. Keep your legs active, your spine lengthening, and the rest of you just relaxing. Go ahead and walk the hands back up. You can help bring your legs together. Give them a good wiggle. Good. And then just lean back on your hands. It doesn't matter how. So this doesn't have anything to do with hands or shoulders. Make yourself comfortable here. Bend your knees, put your feet flat outside the edges of the mat. Just a couple of gentle little knee drops side to side. This is a super gentle version of that outer hip stretch. We'll do an IT band stretch in just a moment, but for now, just kind of let your hips roll side to side. Both knees drop to one side, you've got a wide stance. Both knees drop the other way. We'll do it one more time on each side, or whatever will make you feel even. And then from here, you can actually just roll onto your back. Make sure your strap is within reach. Hug your knees in and rock side to side. Now from here, we're gonna start using the strap again. And even if you can grab your foot, humor me today and use your strap. We're just gonna be really mindful of what we're doing and leave our egos out of it. So keep your right knee hugged in and extend your left leg all the way onto the ground. Just give your right knee a hug for a moment. Wind relieving pose. And then we're gonna grab the strap, loop the right foot, and fully extend the right leg. And flex the foot. So here's what I'm gonna ask you to do today is keep the backs of your arms on the ground for now. You're gonna shorten your strap until you feel a hamstring stretch. Very straight leg, very flexed foot, but instead of reaching way up here by your foot and grabbing, I want you to hang onto the strap much farther down. Have the backs of your arms, your triceps on the floor. Take a couple of breaths. So there's a couple reasons we do this. One is it grounds us. When we pull from here, we keep the back side of the pelvis, the right side, really grounded along with the backs of our arms. Take 2 more breaths and make sure your leg is straight, your foot is flexed. Then we're just going to transfer both sides of the strap to the right arm. I would love for you to keep the back of your right arm on the ground. Your left hand is going to touch your left hip bone to keep you from rolling. Your right leg stays straight. And regardless of your flexibility, please keep your right leg off the floor. So for those of you that want to just flop it over, resist that urge. The goal today is not to get to the floor. If you're not feeling a stretch, shorten up on your strap. Your foot can come up above your head if it needs to, but I want it off the ground. Left hip bone doesn't roll, back of the right arm's on the ground. Take 2 more breaths. Bring your leg back up. Switch both sides of the strap to your left arm. And yes, the back of your left arm is going to stay on the ground by your left side. Your right arm is going to open out, and you're going to promise me that you're going to keep the right shoulder blade, back of the right arm, and the whole hand on the ground. Right leg stays straight, foot is flexed, and you start to bring the leg across. Now again, instead of flopping over, resist that urge. I want you to keep your right leg off the ground. Right foot is flexed, the leg is straight. Your left tricep is on the floor. Couple more breaths. Good. Bring your leg back up. You can take the strap off. Hug your right knee in. Good. And then we're just going to switch sides. So go ahead and bring your left knee up. You're welcome to sneak a little rock in if you need it. And then extend your right leg out. Keep your left knee hugged in. And then let's loop the left foot. And all that same stuff applies. Grab one side of the strap in each hand. Straighten your left leg. Flex the ankle and toes. And slide your hands down until the backs of your arms are on the floor. Flex your ankle. Find your hamstring stretch. So we're like keeping ourselves honest today. Such a truthfulness. It's really easy to get into our egos. Even when we practice by ourselves in our house, we can be like, ooh, look at what I can do. That's not what the practice is about, right? So we're going to stay out of our heads and just stay in our bodies. So for now, switch both sides of the strap to your left hand. Keep your left arm on the ground, right by your left side. Your right hand's going to come to the top of your right hip bone. Keep your left leg straight, foot flexed, and start to take it out to the left. Don't let it flop onto the floor. If you have a lot of flexibility, just keep shortening the strap, pulling your leg up towards your head. We're going to keep that left leg off the floor. Keep the arms on the floor. Left leg is straight, foot is flexed. Bring that leg back up. Switch the strap to your right hand. Yep, back of the right arm stays on the ground. Left leg is straight. Left foot is flexed. Left arm opens out to the left. Your shoulder blade, upper arm, and back of the hand stay on the ground. And you start to take your left leg across the body, but you don't want it to hit the floor. I want you to practice being in the moment, in your skin, finding sensation without letting your body flop. So keep your left leg straight, foot is flexed, back of the right arm and back of the left arm are on the ground. Take a couple more breaths. Good, bring your left leg back up, unwind. You can take your strap off, hug your left knee in, bring your right knee up to meet it. And then let's just go into a little bit of a deeper IT band stretch. I want you to put your right foot down on the ground, cross your left ankle over your right knee. So it's that wide crossing of the legs. And then you're going to drop your legs to the right. What we're trying to do is get the whole left sole of your foot on the floor. Very important. And then you're going to use your right hand on the inside of your left thigh, keeping your foot flat. Press that leg open. So if you're not feeling anything on the outer left hip, your IT band, what you can do is just sneak your right knee a little closer up to your right shoulder. Both shoulders stay flat. Right hand presses against the inside of the right thigh. Sorry, left thigh. And your left foot stays flat. So again, mindfulness. Both shoulder blades are down. The whole sole of the left foot is flat. We're pressing against the inside of that left thigh, looking for sensation in the left outer hip. Take one more breath. Good. Come on up from that, and let's just switch sides. Left foot flat on the mat, your left knee is bent. Your right ankle crosses your left knee, so it's a wide crossing of the legs. You're going to drop your legs to the left. You want the whole sole of your right foot to touch the ground, and you want to keep your right shoulder blade down. So you don't want to roll over to make this happen. Your upper torso stays flat, face up. Now, once you get the whole right foot flat, use your left hand on the inside of your right thigh to press that leg open. If you're not feeling enough, Scooch your left knee closer to your left shoulder. Keep your right foot totally flat. Press against the inside of the thigh until you feel something in your right outer hip. Right shoulder blade stays down. And then bring your legs back up. Uncross the knees. Hug your knees in. And then we're going to keep the left knee hugged in. Extend your right leg out onto the ground. And we're just going to turn this into a twist. So you can either hook the toes of your left foot inside the right knee or thigh, or you can just let it come over to the outside. We're going to twist over to the right. Let the left arm open out. Finally, it's okay if your left shoulder blade pops up. So as we're moving into our twist and our final postures before Shavasana, you can kind of start letting the body do what it does. You can be a little more relaxed in allowing the posture to just kind of take an organic form. Couple more breaths on this side. On your next inhale, come on up. Hug your left knee in. Bring the right knee up to meet it, and then keep your right knee hugged in as your left leg extends. And transition into your twist on this side. So you're twisting to the left. Right arm opens out. And you allow your body to adjust in this twist. So if the shoulder blade pops up, fine. If it doesn't, fine. You just start letting the body surrender to the pose and to gravity as you move towards Shavasana. On your next inhale, come on back up as you exhale. Hug your right knee. You can bring your left knee up to meet it. Give yourself a little rock, and then grab your feet and happy baby. So whatever else you need to loosen up through your hips, your hamstrings, inner thigh, outer thigh, any of that stuff, here's an opportunity to move into it. And then when you feel like you're ready, let's go ahead and put the feet on the ground. Drop the knees open. Take a breath. And then take the opportunity to lengthen your low back before Shavasana by flattening your back on an inhale. So it's a posterior tilt of the pelvis. You're taking the curve out of your lumbar spine. And then you release it on an exhale. You begin to extend your legs. You decide how far apart your feet want to be this morning, a little or a lot. You relax your glutes, you lengthen your spine. You let your hands rotate palm up below the shoulders. You lengthen your neck. You relax your jaw. You close your eyes. You soften your forehead. And you take a deep breath in. And then a big exhale, and you settle into Shavasana. And so corpse pose is always the culmination of our practice, always. It's what we're always moving towards. Not only is it the reward of our practice, but it's kind of the point of our practice. We work on getting our bodies strong enough and supple enough that we can remain in stillness and not be distracted by the body. And that allows us to go inward, to move inward to the deeper realms. So today, I'm just going to kind of leave you to it. I want you to just move inward. Examine what your interior environment is. Watching your thoughts, recognizing that you are not your thoughts. Watching your emotions, recognizing that you're not those either. You're the one observing them. You're an observer to the whole thing. Your body, your mind, your heart, this life, you're observing. Start to bring your awareness back outside to this external environment, to the room that you're in, to the floor that you're lying on, to any sounds or sensations in your external environment. And then you can start to move your fingers and toes and deepen your breath and go through that series of movements and reawakening that we usually do, inhaling to extend fingers and toes, exhaling through the mouth to relax them, inhaling to stretch like you stretch when you first wake up in the morning, and exhaling again to relax. And then bending the knees, either hugging them into your chest or just letting your feet be flat on the floor for a moment. Take your time as you roll to your right side and perhaps remain there for a breath or two. And then you can use your left hand in front of your chest and press yourself up to a nice straight seated position. So as we come to this comfortable seat, this asana, we're going to work with all 4 parts of the breath this morning. As you know, if there's any part of the breath work that causes you anxiety or discomfort, you should skip it. So we're going to be breathing in, holding our breath in, breathing out, and then holding our breath out. That holding of the breath out is just like an extra long pause before you breathe in. But again, if any of that causes you anxiety, you can just skip it. I'd like you to work with what really is the most advanced ratio for this, which is a 2-1-4-1 ratio. So let me break that down for you. Both of the holds, internal and external, are the same length, and they're much shorter than everything else. So your exhale is twice as long as your inhale, and the holds are half as long as your inhale. So for instance, I'll just give you one. If you inhale for 4, you hold your breath for 2, you exhale for 8, and you hold your breath for 2. All right, sorry to make you do complicated math and ratios early in the morning. And if all of that just seems too crazy for you and you don't want to mess with it, just breathe, it's fine. But if you're willing, 2-1-4-1 ratio breathing all through the nose. So let's find a nice straight spine. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through the nose. And then it's your own count, your own pace. Off you go. So finishing out the breath that you're on. As you do finish it out, just take the opportunity for a few normal breaths to just observe. Slowly bring your palms together in front of your heart. Let's take a moment in gratitude. Gratitude for these amazing bodies that we get to live in. If you didn't have this body, where would you live, right? So we're so lucky and fortunate that we have these great bodies to inhabit. We're fortunate and lucky to have this breath that animates the body. And perhaps most of all, we're fortunate and lucky to have this awareness so that we can observe our bodies, our breath, our thoughts and emotions. We can be a witness to this whole beautiful, amazing life that we get to live. Take one more deep breath in. Nice, happy sigh. Palms to the forehead, just reminding us to be present, to pay attention. Palms to the lips, reminding us to speak our truth and to also speak our gratitude. from palms to the heart, reminding us to keep our hearts open so that we can always come from a place of kindness and compassion and love. Thank you guys for joining me. Namaste.